Hey guys, it's the real Christine Daae, and I'm here to discuss my name and how I got it. Well, I am what you would call a Phantom of the Opera freak, because ever since pretty much the musical came out, I was like, oh, there's a book with it? Really? The book preceded the musical? The Andrew Lloyd Webber musical? Really? I must read this. So, yeah. I read the book, fell in love with it, and then went on a tangent and had to freaking just look at all the different types of spin-off books that they have written. I've actually ordered the um, kind of like a sequel, but it wasn't Gaston Leroux's sequel. He only wrote one book. He only wrote The Phantom of the Opera. But I think it's John Forsyth. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. John Forsyth, there we go, wrote The Phantom in Manhattan, which is based off of the sequel that Andrew Lloyd Webber produced, Love Never Dies. So that's the next book that I'm getting in the mail, which hopefully please come soon because I can't wait to read it again. I haven't read it in so long. But yeah, the main character, who is Christine Daae, which I am so thusly named because I always wanted to be her, because especially the way Emmy Rossum plays her, oh my god, I wish I could be like this skinny, because I'm not. Believe me, I'm not. And I will never be, unfortunately. But whatever. But I love her hair, I love the costumes, I love the makeup, I love everything about this musical. It's beautiful, and it's just such a nice love story. But the thing is, I always wanted to be Christine Daae because I wanted to make the choice to be with Phantom because, hello, if you watch the Schumacher version with Emmy Rossum and Gerard Butler, would you go Raoul or would you go Phantom? I personally would go Phantom. I don't care. You got a little slight little mishap on one side. It's like, it's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. Not when you look like Jerry. No, it's not the end of the world. With that, anyway, so that's how I got my name, and I recommend you read this book because it's really good. It's not a hard read. It's way more um, detailed than the musical, and especially the musical movie, the Schumacher version, and there's like a whole bunch of spin-offs too. The Schumacher version really doesn't stay all too true to the book, neither does the Lloyd Webber production, but you really need to just read this book because there are characters that they have left out, like the Persian. He's pretty essential to the story, and some of the interesting things that happen, like some of the traps that the Phantom sets, they completely just did not include that in the films. So I suggest you read the original. But there are some pretty good movies that they've put out. There was an '89 version with Robert Englund. I think he's the same guy who played Freddy Krueger. He actually played the Phantom, which I do have that movie. And it was quite interesting to see that take. It was kind of just, I don't know, really just weird for me because I didn't see it as that kind of deal where the girl went back in time. But yeah, so it's everybody's little take on whatever they wanted to do to make a movie. Then there's The Phantom of the Paradise, which is a little weird for me. That's just a little too weird for me. It's like a '70s like little acid trip movie if you're interested in checking that out. I suggest you look it up on YouTube or whatever. It's floating around there somewhere. It's just a weird movie. There's also plenty of like spin-offs, especially like some of those like really hot romance ones, which I do own because I am weird. There's Journey of the Mask, there's Unmasked, there's I don't know, I can't think of the rest. But there's also another, just like a teen book that's coming out soon, which I cannot wait to get because I'm like obsessed with Phantom of the Opera, and anybody who writes about it, I love it. I love reading just fan fiction of it and just any sort of thing I can get my hands on. So I currently, I am obsessing over Eve Marie Mont. Her new book is coming out called A Phantom Enchantment, and it's about this little teenage, well, she's not little, she's a teenage girl, and she is actually the lucky girl who is going to Paris and study in Paris. And I don't know, somehow she ends up at the bottom of the opera house looking for the Phantom of the Opera. I don't know, like, the book hasn't come out yet. So I'm interested to see how she's going to take that, because she has done another one of my favorites, which is Jane Eyre. That's another one of my all-time favorites. And she has also written a book called A Touch of Scarlet, and the book with Jane Eyre in it, well, about kind of just using that storyline, is called A Breath of Air, and it's just, her books are really nice. So, Eve Marie Mont, yeah, pushing it out there. You really need to read her. She's pretty interesting. So, that pretty much went off topic, didn't it? Anyway, so that's how I got my name. Phantom of the Opera, the real Christine Daae here. That's my name. Don't wear it out. I love Phantom. I always have and always will. And I'm so blessed that my junior year I actually got to see Phantom of the Opera on Broadway. And it was fantastic. Watching the chandelier come down and descend upon us. Oh, it's great. Yeah, so, yeah. Hit me up. Give me a comment or whatever if you have any Phantom of the Opera books that you've read. Maybe I haven't read them. Maybe I have. Let's start a conversation. So hit me up, and I will see you next time. Read on, folks, and stay safe.